house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 20 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Linda Ford. Where are you going? Linda, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it, and we think you're awesome. And Homer says hello. And if you guys want to be house guests today like Linda, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right, so yesterday they had the power veto ceremony. Casey did not use it, as we discussed yesterday. Haley and Fessy are still up on the block. One of them will be leaving maybe on Thursday because they are having the battle back. But it's looking like at this point it's Fessy that will be at least temporarily walking out the door. So Fessy, I mentioned, was also upset that Haley's been hanging out with other people, and he's like, it makes me think that you only care about the game. That's what I hear when Fessy opens his mouth. Wah! Alright, so yesterday was a really slow day. There was some interesting stuff, so don't close out the video, but there wasn't a ton going on. So Haley went around to Casey and Angela separately. She's quietly checking on her safety this week, making sure she has the votes to stay. They both tell her that she's staying, and she feels really confident that she has Casey, Brett, and Tyler all voting to keep her. Now, you only need 3 votes to stay this week, but she says that JC has also been reassuring her, so she feels good about that. She's only really worried about Sam's vote because Sam hates Haley. She really does not like her, and she shows it all the time, but Haley's like, you know what, whatever. I don't need her vote. It's fine. So then JC and Tyler had an interesting game chat in the kitchen. JC brings up that Sam and Haley want to take each other out. They don't like each other, and JC loves that. JC says Casey and Angela are a super duo. They're really close, and that's not good. We can't have that. We need to break that up. Does he realize how close Tyler is to them? So he's like, we need to keep the house divided. He really wants to go to the end with Tyler and then 2 people that are not close to each other and like hate each other, because that's going to make it more likely that Tyler and JC will make it to the final 3, you know, if it's up to that other person, and then hopefully to the final 2. So Tyler's like, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We don't need to worry about them right now. But JC's like, I plan on taking out Angela or Casey next if I win HOH. So Tyler's like, F no, that's terrible. He says, no way you're going to convince me. Damn, he is laying down the law. And JC's like, why? And Tyler says, Haley put me on the block. Really not feeling good about her. And then on the flip side, Casey and Angela are not coming for either of us right now. We don't have to worry about them. So it doesn't make sense to keep Haley around and split up, you know, somebody from that duo, and then they're also going to be coming after us. So he's like, I know you think that I have a final 3 with Casey and Angela, but I don't. He's got a final 4 with them and Brett. So anyway, Tyler tells JC, you're not at the bottom of the totem pole. You know you have me and Brett. We're both aware of how close Casey and Angela are, so don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Because as I've been saying all week, JC is getting very nervous about where he stands with the rest of the group. He doesn't want to be the first one out after Haley and Fessy are both gone. So then JC's also telling Tyler Brett can't go to the final 3 because there's a good chance that he could beat you in that final HOH. And then that's not good for your game. So he's saying like everything he needs to say to make sure that he's going to be there at the end with Tyler. So Tyler's all, don't worry, I have your back. And JC's like, okay, but I want to revisit this conversation another time because we really got to do something about Angela and Casey. And Tyler's still saying there's no way that he's going to get rid of either one of them while Haley's still around. Haley's got to go first. Okay. So I believe JC pitched pretty much the same thing to Brett, talking about how close Angela and Casey are. And he was like, all right, don't tell anybody about this. And I don't think Tyler and Brett have talked about this together yet. I feel like neither of them want to say anything about this to anyone because I feel like they're trying to protect JC. Because if that gets out that JC wants to split up Angela and Casey, he's going to be a huge target, and they don't want that to happen because they know that JC is good for both of their games. So I feel like that's why that hasn't gotten out yet. But anyway, it's time for Sam's Barbie Dream Hair Salon. The day has finally come to straighten Tyler's hair. He's got those beautiful curls, They want to see what it looks like straight. I'm honestly surprised that it took them this long to do it. So Sam was like trying to kick everybody out of the bathroom because she wanted it to be a surprise. But then like people were allowed to come back in except for Haley and Angela. She freaking kicked them out. She was like, get, I said get. Yeah, it was really weird that they weren't allowed to watch, but everybody else was. So it took a really long time for this process. Tyler was covering his face with a towel so that the reveal would be a big surprise. And oh my god, his hair is so freaking long. He looked like a beautiful Afghan hound, you know? They have like the long hair on their faces. So the time comes for the reveal. And Tyler is shooketh when he removes that towel from his face. He's like, what the F? What the F? Oh my god, what the F? Obviously he's saying the real F word. They're all telling him it looks good. They're laughing. They're having so much fun with it. Tyler is not a fan of it. He can't even look at himself. He's like, I look like a female. He keeps saying it. I think JC is the only one who didn't like it. He was like, you look like a 40-year-old independent woman. Like, he was not a fan. He was not a fan. He's like, go take a shower, change it back. I don't like it. But Brett was telling him, you look like Legolas. It looks sick. You look like Orlando Bloom. He looked like, I would say like Fabio or like, I don't know. Like, it looked okay. It was just like totally different. Angela said it looked like a wig, but she was really into it. She could not stop touching it. And Tyler's like, I'm never doing this again. So then Big Brother told him that he had to like put it back or like tie it back or whatever for like continuity purposes. Haley tries to braid it for him and he didn't like that either. And he was like, take it out, I don't like it. So he was freaking out about that. But that was a bit of fun on the feeds last night. And then, woo, there was some freaking drama. Yo, Big Brother effed up in a big way last night. I mean production. Like, something went wrong with the technology or somebody on production was being sneaky. Brett, Tyler, Angela, and later Casey were venting about Sam in the HOH room. Actually, JC was there at one point too. So, at one point, everybody was up there except for Sam, Haley, and Fessy. So Brett comes in and he's like, oh, Sam is really annoying me. She's always putting out constant jabs over absolutely nothing. He tells this story, like this stupid story about laundry and how Sam and Brett's laundry were mixed together and like there was a line for the laundry machines and he took his clothes and separated them from hers. I guess he wanted to get in there or whatever. And Sam made some comment like, what, you're too freaking good to do your laundry with mine, blah, blah, blah. So he was annoyed with that. And they all agree she's really getting on their nerves. She's freaking losing it. So while they're talking about this, you can see in the background in the HOH room that intercom screen setup, the red light goes on and the screen is switching from room to room as if this was broadcasting throughout the house. So they were also complaining about Fessy leaving the kitchen a mess, and I think they were also discussing when JC was not there, like, oh, level 6, we're so tight, woo! So, you know, they're feeling really good about their group. So then a little later, Casey comes in, because she had left and come back. She comes in and she's like, I could hear you guys talking while I was in the living room, and it was not like me just hearing because you were being loud. It was because it was playing over the intercom. The intercom was on. Oh shit. So Brett's like, well, that's not good. Okay, I mean, they were like discussing if maybe Sam was bipolar. I mean, they were really going deep. So they're wondering if Sam heard. They're really hoping that she did not. Brett's like, how long has that been on? I gotta say, from the time that you could first see the red light go on when Brett came in to tell the laundry story the first time to the time that Casey told them, it had to have been like 40 minutes, no lie. And he told that laundry story multiple times throughout that because he had to tell one person, then another person would come in, he would tell them, and so on and so forth. So Angela's like, production, you're really effing with our game here. So then Casey goes downstairs to the living room to test out if the intercom was still messed up, and she confirms, yes, she could still hear them. damn, that is a huge F up. Okay, at that point, they're not sure if Sam heard. We're not sure if Sam heard, but Sam was definitely in a pissy mood last night. Hard to tell if it was unrelated or if it was because of that. We'll come back to that. But in other news, last night there was another round of Haley versus Fessy. It's the same garbage that we've been hearing day after day, so I'm not going to get into it, but basically they're like, is this relationship for real or what? Yeah, sick of it. Okay, so then there was some new info here. Fessy says that he is planning on calling out Angela in his eviction speech. He says he's going to throw her so far under the bus, it's going to be legendary. As legendary as his HOH reign or what? Like, this is Fessy that we're talking about. It's not like it's a Brett speech, so like, is anyone even going to fall for whatever he's going to say? Probably not, but it'll be interesting to see him try. So Haley wants to know what he's going to say. Fessy will not tell her. And Fessy's like, well, I'm going to bring up how she talks to people in a demeaning way. That's what you're going with? That's the best you can do, really? So Haley's like, well, you never know. Your speech might help you stay here. And Fessy's like, it's not that kind of speech. I'm going to make Angela the target. You're going to be safe for a few weeks. I don't think so, but you go ahead and try. By the way, if you guys are new here, the snoring in the background is one of my dogs. She's very sleepy. Okay, so today, we find out that Sam did, in fact, overhear some of the HOH conversation from last night. So she was talking to Angela this morning. She was like, what was that all about? And Angela's like, I don't know. We just, apparently there was something wrong with the intercom. I don't know if the button got stuck or something, or if it was just like malfunctioning. So it sounds like Sam only heard the part of the conversation. It was just Brett's laundry story and not all the other stuff. Unless Sam is just like keeping that other stuff close to her and not saying like, I heard all the effed up shit you said. But y'all so lucky if that's really the only thing that she heard. So she's like, oh, I was doing dishes in the kitchen and I was just ignoring it because I thought you guys were doing it on purpose to just mess with me. So she seems like she's in really good spirits about it. And she's like, if Brett had a problem with me, he should have just come directly to me. And Angela's like, oh yeah, he's such a little bitch. So she's like, I'm glad it was nothing. Fine, great. So then Sam confronts Brett a little bit later in the pink bedroom and she's like, I got a bone to pick with you. You are gonna go upstairs and cluck and shit and have your little hen party and get all aggravated like you've got some kind of a problem. And Brett's like, I don't have a problem. He says he was a little bit frustrated with the way that she came at him about the laundry thing and he didn't want to make it a big deal. He was just talking to JC about it. He says he was just as cranky as she was. He knows that she is trying to quit smoking and that's making her cranky, but he can be cranky sometimes too. So Sam's like, all right, that's fair. Like if you ever feel like that again, you should just come talk to me, say it to my face. And Brett's like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to make it this huge thing. I just had my vent session with JC and that was it. He talked about it a lot. But Sam's like, you promise? And Brett's like, I promise. And then Sam's like, and today's a brand new day? And Brett's like, yes. So they hug. It seems like it's over. But damn, that is a huge mess up. Can you imagine if she had heard that whole conversation, or if like anybody had heard that whole conversation? That would have been so screwed up. So I'm curious if they're going to show that on the show or not, because I feel like they usually tend to hide their production errors, but they could always frame it like, oh, somebody turned on the intercom and they didn't turn it off. So I don't know if it's going to be on the show or not, but wow, that was a real twist of events there. So anyway, we've got 2 days left until the eviction. At this point, Fessy is still going, but you never know what could happen. And don't forget, we've got the battle back on Thursday. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.